Nuremberg recounts its tale through a number of characters who elucidate events, issues, motivations and reactions surrounding the Nuremberg Trials, which took place between 1945 and 1949. Although we are given a broad outline of these events, the film focuses on the relationship between Nazi second-in-command Hermann Goring and Douglas Kelley, the young American psychiatrist assigned to assess and monitor the mental health of the assembled accused. Kelley was also invited to pass on information and insights the prosecutors might find helpful in making their case against Nazi officials. There are, of course, moments of high drama, revelations and historical clarification, but audience involvement turns on how Kelley rather arrogantly thinks he will be able to manipulate Goring, who instead subtly and discreetly manipulates Kelley, and it is largely through the development and ultimate disintegration of Kelley's relationship with Goring that our interest is engaged and maintained. Their association is irrevocably damaged and the tone of the film is markedly darkened with the gloves-off disclosure of the horrific treatment of inmates in the concentration camps, after which pleasantries and the veneer of friendship are abandoned, and the pursuit of justice is emphasised. It seems to me that Nuremberg has two purposes. Firstly, to elucidate the historic events surrounding the trials and explore the motivations of and effects on the people involved. This was the first such trial and new processes and procedures had to be created and developed for them. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, to serve as a timely warning of potential consequences for the present-day world, as some countries teeter towards authoritarianism or even fascism. The film invites reflection upon why and how authoritarian leaders may be elected through the democratic process, and the conclusions apply not just to Germany in the period following the First World War and as a result of the Versailles Agreement which was imposed on the nation, but may equally apply to present-day nations undergoing a period of political difficulty. A sense of pointlessness, disillusion, resentment and even disenfranchisement among sections of the electorate mean that they may turn to charismatic, manipulative or eloquent figures who focus on the apparent failures of their opponents, prey on a lack of a sense of purpose or advancement among the electorate, and national pride. These political figures may not offer viable or considered alternatives, but persuade the public of the failure of their political opponents and of the righteousness and value of their cause through rationalisation, single-minded or blinkered insistence on viewpoints, and emotional manoeuvring, while appealing to patriotism, selective or false news feeds, and fear-mongering. Such political figures may go on to display a disregard for complex objective and universal laws, which they may blame for any political or social malaise, replacing them with measures that entrench government-backed positions, favour those happy or willing to support their government, and weaken or eradicate any and all bodies ready to challenge or oppose their government policies. Although the result of the democratic process, this state of affairs can hardly be said to uphold democratic values, and this film is a reminder of the essential importance of the principles and values of democracy, which is a far broader concept than fair elections. It may not always be easy to apply the principles of democracy, but it is essential that we should try to do so. The foundation of a fair, free and just society is the establishment and upholding of a system of rules, regulations and laws which aims to objectively protect and defend the rights of all men and women, and to pursue all those who seek to abuse or who are willing to attack or otherwise mistreat or disrespect others. Protections afforded by such a system and pursuit of wrongdoers should be applicable to all without favour, bias or selectivity of any sort. Only by insisting on equality and respect for all members of society will laws and their application be seen as fair and acceptable. Deviation due to bias, preference, favour or fraud may lead to disquiet and rejection of societal norms. It is essential to note that governmental authority in a democracy is accepted and tolerated by common consent, and to maintain that state of affairs, citizens must feel respected and that their circumstances and views are considered. Toward the end of the film, Kelley gives an interview in which he makes points that are relevant not just to today, but to any point in the future at which the principles of democracy are being undermined. He points out that evil, or political opportunism allied to personal gain, will not declare itself as such, and will not necessarily wear a uniform. Hitler and his associates came to be seen as the embodiment of evil, displaying cruel and inhuman indifference to the destinies of millions, only in retrospect. Their policies, actions and motivations were rationalised and appealed to many, at least initially, for the reasons I have already indicated. Kelley's point, and indeed one of the main points of the film, is that this should not be allowed to happen again. Our film is a timely warning of the potential consequences of failing to recognise signs of democratic dismantlement and a failure to appreciate and protect the values, laws and principles of democratic society, built up and applied over the centuries. We must be willing to defend the values and institutions we hold dear by applying critical thinking and upholding respect for objective truth, compassion and humanity. My thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it of some value.